Hey guys, so a bit of a quick one today. It's a beautiful night where I am, but today nothing to report with regards to business or really anything at all. I just hung out with family and that's pretty much it. I'm leaving where I'm at right now to go back to my hometown tomorrow afternoon, and so that should cue probably not much tomorrow, and probably not much on Christmas. Then after that should cue a lot more like useful daily logs, but today's one of those days that's not for you, it's for me, just to stay consistent. And you probably won't get much out of it, to be honest, or anything, but if you get one thing out of it, it's just stay consistent. And there are some days that are pretty useless and other days that are super productive but boring, and you need both. So the last couple of days have taught me to appreciate the people around me while I can, and also helped me to learn that I'm somebody who has a very hard time working when others are around, and a very easy time working. Actually, I have a very hard time doing anything but working when I'm alone. And I think it's good and bad. I think it's bad if I'm always surrounded by people, because then I never work. But I think it's good because if I can find a balance, then I can be fully focused on work while I'm at work, and fully present with the people I love when I'm not working. And so that's the main takeaway for today. Another good takeaway is just simply everybody's imperfect, and that's the beauty of the world, is we all get to accept each other for how imperfect we are. Another thought that I had is there's this generally widespread idea that having an ego is bad and you want to eliminate your ego, but I think that what's more valuable is learning to choose how you feel and act under certain situations. Let me explain. So I think in work, if I'm trying to start a business, it's probably good to have a huge ego, because you will be stubborn and you'll think you're right, and that will give you basically a cheat code, because every time you fail, you're going to refuse to believe that you're wrong and you'll keep going. So it's kind of a hack for consistency. Now there's a lot of like devil's advocate, like probably ways to prove that wrong, but that's what I personally think, because I also did hear a quote recently, and it was basically the idea that like when you're trying to be successful, a mentality that might be useful to you, not necessarily morally correct, but useful, is that you are right and everybody else is wrong. And I think it came from the founder of OpenAI, the people who run ChatGPT. Basically, Elon Musk was the one who founded that company, and he left the company and told the CEO that like it was going to fail and it wouldn't work, and now they're the highest valued private company in the world, which obviously might not be the case for long, because I think they're overvalued, but either way, they are successful and it does work. And so if somebody as successful and knowledgeable as Elon tells you that it's not going to work, the only way to really keep going and build something that does work is to think that he's wrong. And if you think Elon's wrong about business related things, then you sound pretty delusional, because he's the richest man in the world by like 3x number 2. And so it's just the mentality of at work being able to switch on the idea that you are right and everybody else is wrong, and it makes you stay consistent and follow what you want to do. Now, that's not a mindset that can be used in the rest of life, in relationships especially. And it would be valuable to have a mindset of more removing your ego from the situation, having no ego. And I think that a more valuable ability than having no ego or being super egotistical and thinking that you're right and everybody else is wrong, a more valuable trait to have would be to choose between the two based on the current situation. So be able to mold to your situation. So at work, in order to stay consistent and be ruthlessly hardworking and really be the best like I want to be, I need to believe that I am the best and I'm right and everybody else is wrong, and that will give me a sense of determination. But as soon as I come home, I need to be able to control that, switch that off, and be exactly the opposite, because it's to be treated as a tool, not a crutch. And so you should use it when it is necessary and turn it off when it is not. And so I think that goes for anything, whether it be emotion, personality. A good trait of me is like, not a good trait, like a good example in me is that I'm introverted. Like I get my energy from being alone. Like when I'm around people for too long, I need space to get my energy back and rest. And I don't get that from being around people. but it would serve me better in some situations, especially in business, to be an extroverted person. And so having the ability to be extroverted if I need to, and not just stick to, oh, I'm introverted, that's how I am, is an extremely valuable trait to have. To be extroverted when necessary and to be introverted when necessary. To be egotistical when necessary. It all comes down to continuous instead of binary. And so binary being yes, no, this, that. Being I'm either introverted or I'm extroverted, not both. Continuous is like a gray scale. Like, how introverted are you? And I think that we should all live more like that. But that's all I have to report, and I will see you guys tomorrow.